Steph, the community support's pretty overwhelming. The only regional team in the competition. Do you guys feel the love, or are you feeling the love this week?
Oh, absolutely. The support that we've that's come out from the community leading up to last week and then this week has been absolutely overwhelming, and they're like another member of our team. So it's pretty awesome for the support to come out.
And do you think the players really appreciate it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. To have the community behind you, you want to do it for yourselves and the team, but to also do it for the community, like you said, to regional, the only regional team. So yeah, just walking around here, people want to stop and talk to you about games and stuff, and they're always wishing you good luck. And that's been right way through, like from when it was announced that I was in the team to now. It's been absolutely amazing.
And you've been there since day one, the first player. You wear the number 1 on your shoulder. What did that mean for you? Because you'd had success with the Swifts. It's a big move to come to a club starting from scratch, but you were the first player to sign with Lightning. How's the journey been?
It's been absolutely awesome. It's probably the best decision I've made for my netball. Be back with my family and also with the coaching with Knowles and Kylie. I think they've taken my game to another level. So yeah, I've absolutely loved my time here. My time here.
When you were first signing, did you think back then it was going to be, and there was a tough pre-season, that you'd end up in the grand final?
Oh, look, I think from the beginning we knew it was going to be a tough road for us, where we were a brand new club and we didn't have an established like a foundation or anything. So I knew we had the quality players in our team with international people, but it was whether we could put it all together. And I think that's a massive credit to Nolene and Kylie, getting the best out of all players and bringing so many different nations to be able to play as a team.
What was it that attracted you? Because it was you. There was just you at the start. There was no Jiva or Caitlin and the rest of the side. Was there some sort of risk or some doubt, or just a bit nervous about where this is going to go?
I think it was actually, big one for me was my families, and they are in Brisbane, and living away from my 2 sisters, who are pretty much my best friends, was tough for me in Sydney. But I think the excitement of probably building a culture from scratch and being a part of it, and when I retire, hopefully that stuff goes, that's a legacy I guess we can leave. And Nolene, I knew a lot about her and what she did with Steel last year, where she took those players to where they got in the ANZ Championship, really drew me. And Kylie has had a lot to do with all my underage up here, so she was also another draw card.
Having the backing of the Melbourne Storm, that would have been huge, wouldn't it, to know the professionalism of that club and how they performed in the NRL, that they were behind this. That must have been huge for you as well. Yeah,
that was a big part as well. They're a very successful team, and they've got a lot of great players there, and even just tapping into a little bit of what they do and having chats with some of the boys and stuff like that has been awesome.
And the game, first of all, the Giants up against the Vixens, were you expecting that sort of a result, that big a win?
No, but to be honest, I didn't personally watch the game. I get way too nervous watching games, so I will go do my analysis post and watch the cut up and everything like that, because otherwise I just get too much anxiety and I get nervous. So I don't watch it.
So you'll just watch parts of the game later on?
Yeah, I'll watch. I'll do some performance analysis and see what the Giants defenders do, and then go from there.
Bassett, you're from WA, but it's a Queensland team and a New South Wales team. We've got Origin this week. We've got an interstate netball grand final coming up. There's a lot of interest. Would it be good for all of Queensland to get behind Sunshine Coast?
Yeah, I think so. I think even though we're out here on the coast, we really are a Queensland team, and have the support and to have a packed crowd at Brisbane Entertainment Centre would be absolutely amazing. I was there last year for Firebirds and Swifts, and when that place is packed, it's absolutely amazing.
How's the week been? Or last week, and how's this week looking?
Yeah, it's been exciting. It's been busy, to say the least. I think the interest has jumped up another notch in netball, and everywhere I go, people are saying good luck and congratulations, which is amazing. I think the buy-in and the support from the community has just been second to none, and that's why we love it here on the Sunshine Coast. We get so well looked after, and we know that we have the whole community behind us. The success that we've had in our first year, I think, is closely linked to everything that's happened here with the community, and Visit Sunshine Coast and the council and the airport. We flew out of Sunshine Coast Airport last week, and there were big signs at the airport instead of boarding that had our logo on it, which is just amazing. And those little things do make a difference. And I flicked on the radio today, and coming down here, Hot 91, they're organising a bus to go down to the grand final. So I'm really feeling the love from the community at the moment. But it's hard not to get caught up in the excitement when you see things like this down at the beach. And And yeah, you get to meet people who have never really watched netball before, just really jump on board and fall in love with it like I have for so many years.
Steph Wood said she didn't watch the game. She gets too nervous and anxious. What about you? Did you watch it? And if so, what did you make of it?
Yeah, me, Kelsey and Laura Sherian sat at Alex Surf Club, and we all had dinner beforehand, but a lot of the girls left. To each is their own, and I understand that sometimes watching other people play can be a little bit stressful. I thought the game was interesting. I was surprised that Giants came out and really took it up to Vixens, and I'm excited to be playing against Giants because I think it should be the two best teams playing in the competition in the grand final. But we beat them even if it was by a goal last time, and traditionally grand finals have been extremely close. So I think it's going to be a fantastic game for anyone who loves netball, regardless if you're a Sunshine Coast Lightning or a Giants supporter. I think we just have to do what we've been doing each week, and we've been building momentum across the season, and I think we're really peaking at the right time. And a lot of planning goes in from Nolene and Kylie and our support staff in making sure we're ready at the right time. And we're in taper this week, so just kind of backing off a little bit to make sure we're as fresh as possible for that big game on Saturday.
Just on the start of the season, everyone predicted Collingwood before a ball was thrown, just because Collingwood signed so many Australian players. Collingwood finished fourth. Just because you have internationals in your team doesn't mean you're going to go well. What do you think has worked well in terms of Lightning being so successful?
Yeah, I think it's the old adage that a team of stars versus a star team, and I think the right personality and the mix and the environment that we've got here on the Sunshine Coast has been perfect for us. Yes, we do have a few internationals, but we gelled together exceptionally well in pre-season, even though we didn't have a lot of time together, and I think that's the key. It's really making sure you have the right personnel working together and having the right people looking after you, and Kylie and Knowles in particular, they understand that we are mature players, we know how to play netball, and it's just the little tinkering that happens behind the scenes at their job.
Two new teams in the grand final out of the four. How do you assess that? Why is that so?
Look, I think it's great that two new franchises are in the grand final, and a lot of people, I think, were a bit wary of having three new teams in the competition this year, but I think it's testament that we needed more teams, and we do have the talent in Australia to fill those positions. Having some more internationals across as well has made it even more exciting, and I think, you know, the two teams that are in the grand final deserve to be there off their own merits, and it's great to see that players moving interstate or moving to play in other teams get looked after so well, in the fact that, I mean, arriving here on the Sunshine Coast, I immediately felt at home, and our sport is definitely evolving into more of a professional league, I guess.
Not everyone gets a chance to play in a grand final. How much is it important for all you girls to actually enjoy the moment as well?
Yeah, look, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and that's what is being told to us this week, is to really soak it all in, because it might not ever happen again. And so I think last night I was a little bit nervous and couldn't get to sleep, but today I had a chat with Jiva, and she just reassured me, look, soak it all up, make the most of it. It might not happen again.
And seeing a local team go through to the grand final, what do you think that's going to do for some young netballers here on the sunny coast?
Look, it's amazing. I think I'm heading off to do some clinics up north straight after the season, and I'm excited to meet all these young netballers. I think us making the grand final is really showing them the pathway, and that it doesn't matter where you live or where you come from. You can be part of something amazing, and you can play for the Sunshine Coast Lightning one day. And I think having a second team in Queensland really shows that there's a lot of talent up here, and there is now even more opportunities for girls in Queensland to play at an elite level.
Look, it's been so much more than a game, hasn't it? It's hasn't the Sunshine Coast hit its straps? It seems that every single thing we've touched over the last 2 years, we've won. And I think Lightning is simply an example, a vehicle of that. It's all of the things that have been good about the Sunshine Coast. We're reading about it, we're seeing about it, we're winning this, we're getting developments, councils doing some extraordinary things. Our airport project, it just goes on and on and on. And Lightning is sort of that physical thing that the community can touch, embrace and go, you know what? Finally, we've got something that we can actually have a bit of emotion, attach it to it. And it's a symbol of everything we've achieved as a community over the last few years. We've come from pretty quiet. We've always sort of had to play second fiddle to a lot of other regions. And isn't it nice, not just in terms of tourism, where obviously we were number one last year for the first time ever, but isn't it nice to be able to go, you know what, Sunshine Coast can do. Australia, like New Zealand, we're very, very good at punching above our weight. And the Sunshine Coast is just a smaller version of that. You know, how 320,000 people can come together to actually stand and say, you know what, this region has always been a sensational region, and for a whole raft of reasons. And this, you know, the vehicle of sport finally gives us some way where as a group, as a whole, we can collectively go out there and go, the Sunshine Coast is just a fabulous place to live. And it doesn't matter the size of the population. We're up against Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and we are going to our very first grand final. What an outstanding achievement for Team Sunshine Coast.